Hi, I'm Jeff Siadek, designer of... Oh, man. Hi, I'm Jeff Siadek.
And I'm Joey, the designer...
Hi.
I'm Jeff... No, I'm
I
Joey.
think I'm Jeff Siadek.
Okay.
So today we want to talk about being a good playtester. One of the things that's really important to making a great game is having the people that run through the game to bring it to life so that you can see the parts of it that are working to make them happen more and the parts that aren't working to get rid of.
Yeah, it's part of the process of development where if you just make the game that's your dream game, you'll think, well, I'm not making it for the audience, I'm making it for me. Well, maybe that's the case, but you yourself will realize that it wasn't as good as it could be for you once other people give you feedback once the game is out. So you might as well get playtesters, especially people that maybe don't run in your family circles.
Yeah, there's a classic case is when people say, well, I played it with my family and my mother loves it.
My mother loves it.
Yes, your mother might love you, and so she might not actually be a fan of the game, and she might not be helping you find what's really wrong with it.
She's not even lying. She just doesn't know anything about games, and she just knows that if you made it, it must be great.
Yes.
So, well, first of all, how do you become a playtester? Obviously, the best way to do it is just hang out at your local game store and meet people who are designers and get on the Facebook forums and see if there's local designers in your area. Get on meetup.com.
Convention scenes.
Convention scenes is perfect. There's all sorts of special playtester rooms and designer experiences.
And email your favorite companies, too, because they need blind testers. That's something that's really important. And it's really hard to get people that will open up a new game and play it without any coaching and try to read it from the rules and figure out what's happening and then
get
good feedback.
I know Matt Holden and Victoria at Indie Game Alliance they just started a new playtest service where basically you get registered with the Indie Game Alliance website and they'll send you prototypes and you fill out forms and you can end up getting free stuff through that experience. That's, I think, indiegamealliance.com. There's
cool.
Lots of different ways to be a playtester. Okay, so how do you be a good playtester, Jeff?
Well, so I made some notes on it based on having people come and play at my group. And so the main thing you want is to bring an open, clear mind. You really want to bring to the table the willingness to play the game, to play what's in front of you, not to play what the game you wish it would be or the game that you're secretly trying to design in your head. Yeah. And also not to play the room that a lot of times people will say, or the bad components. People will want to be funny and impressive about how much they know about the game as opposed to giving you honest feedback that's going to help you make the game better.
As a playtester, you're really trying to not necessarily say where the game should go, but what your subjective experience was playing this version.
Right. And the two things to look out for really are what works and what doesn't work, but then you also kind of have to look past what works and what doesn't work.
Last night, I ran this game I've been working on called Calamity Incorporated, and in the game, everyone was having such a great time. They're like, oh man, this is great. It takes place in the 90s, and we're moving around. And at some point I was like, none of you have been wounded yet, and it's about to end.
Right.
There's no threat. It was like a little zen, like a pushing sand around a zen garden. It was like, oh, this is very enjoyable.
If there's no combat in the game, then it makes sense for nobody to be wounded. But if there's combat in the game and you don't get to see it, then either you don't need the combat, or you're not balancing it right to see enough of the combat.
Right, so the concept of looking past what doesn't work is if the playtesters had said, yeah, we never got wounded. This is like completely like unbalanced. I mean, I would have said, yes, but I could have just, that's just a simple fix and the balancing like that.
Right, you want to see what does work also.
Assuming you had been wounded enough, how would that experience have been for you? You have to it's a method of communication, essentially.
In the original version of Battle Stations, ships were literally about 1/3 or 1/4 as fast. So you didn't move around on the hex map as much. But because it was the only game where you got to fly around on a starship, we thought we were zipping around on the hex map.
So who said, hey, is there a way to improve the speed of the ships, or how did that come about?
Well, one of the things that happened was that when I was playing it at conventions, people would say, so your speed is how many hexes your ship goes, right?
Right.
And I would say, that's how many hexes it's going to go over the course of a whole round, and there's this chart, and based on the number of phases you go, the number of speed, blah, 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 and I would see their eyes glaze over.
Right.
And I literally...
And you, I'm sure, had a thematic explanation for all these
yeah,
details.
you had your warp bubble and all thing. Yeah, it worked. But then eventually I realized, you know what? What if the answer was yes? What if the speed is how many hexes you move? Yes. It made the game a lot tighter.
Ignore the components. Obviously, something is not going to look like a published Fantasy Flight game.
It really bugs me when I will just, scribble a picture on a card so that there's something on the card. And then the players, somebody will make a joke about it. Okay, that's fine. But then they'll mention it again and again. And so now the event becomes, instead of, hey, are we really, trading in the mid-Atlantic here? Or is this the game about who's got the stupid colored donut? Jonas. I was thinking Joey. Joey Donuts.
Oh, that was like okay. Joey Donut.
But the thing is, if there's something goofy in the components, making one comment about it is fine. Probably not. But really, don't play the components. Get into the game.
Yeah.
And
so let's move on. See past what works.
That's what I was talking about. It's fun to fly around in starships, so don't just let yourself have fun and stop to think, wait, are these starships fast enough? When you're offering suggestions, just think, hey, here's my offer. You can take it, go with it, leave it, whatever.
Yeah. And it shouldn't come with strings attached. There's a guy named Christian, I think, who came up with the idea for the counterfeit ovoid variant for Chaosmos. Everyone loves that variant. I tried to credit, I think I thanked him in the rulebook, but, I didn't owe him that. Part of being a playtester is, you're sort of agreeing, you're not going to tell people about this game, you're not going to steal the idea, obviously, whatever it is. You're just there to support the designer. And if you're not there for the right reasons, then you shouldn't be a playtester. You should just play published games. One thing I wanted to end on is you should have your feedback be relatively organized, and if the designer has a feedback form, that's even better. If there's anything that might hurt their feelings, then you need to clarify that, hey, I have some feedback. It might be something we talk about maybe in private after this group, or write it anonymously, in an anonymous form. Also, it's pretty important to not, crush their spirit with your feedback in the middle of the game. You really should wait to the very end of the game.
If there's something that's not working right now, like, wait, I don't know how to move in this game. Stop the game and show me how to move. Okay, do that.
That's a rule thing. That's different.
But don't in the middle of the game say, this is dumb. Even if it's dumb, wait until the end. Say, hey, here's the parts I liked. Here's the parts that I found dumb.
Yeah.
And
also encourage the designer to get his, how to fix this game design feedback in a different playtest. I surround myself with designers for my designer feedback, and they're aggressive and really mean, and sometimes really they do.
I'm one of them.
They do give me feedback that takes me in the wrong direction sometimes, but it's shocking, slap in the face kind of feedback that I really sometimes need to jumpstart the new direction. New direction.
Not.
So then I have other playtests with just fun, friendly, casual gamers, and that I sort of take it in a different spirit. And honestly, sometimes their feedback is better because the designer has to, the playtester gives the feedback in the way it was requested. Designers, of course, have to respond to it in the same way.
Yeah.
Don't just say you liked it. Tell the designer if you would buy it. That's something that is it sort of rewires their brain. They say, oh, he liked it. It's good enough. Let's print it.
Yeah, I've heard that. I liked it. Oh, I wouldn't buy it, but I liked it.
Right. You wouldn't buy it. That's more important than whether you liked it.
Yeah.
So thanks a lot for watching this video about how to be a great playtester. And
I'm Jeff Siadek.
And I'm Joey Vigour. See you later.